Demand. A formalized economic construct. In microeconomic theory, demand is rigorously defined as the functional relationship between the quantity of a good or service that rational consumers are both willing and able to acquire, and the multivariate set of exogenous variables that influence their purchasing decisions within a specified temporal domain. This relationship is formally expressed as the demand function. $Q_D equals f of py p_r t e n a s g i dollar, where $Q_D equals quantity demanded, $P equals price of the good, $Y equals consumer income, $P_R equals prices of related goods, substitutes and complements, $T equals consumer tastes and preferences, $E equals consumer expectations, $N equals market size, number of consumers, $A equals advertising and branding effectiveness, $S equals seasonal demand fluctuations, $G equals government policy interventions, $I equals informations, asymmetry mitigations. It is imperative to distinguish between a change in quantity demanded, representing a movement along the demand curve in response to price variations, and a change in demand, signifying a shift of the entire demand curve due to alterations in non-price determinants. The law of demand. Theoretical underpinnings and mathematical representation. The law of demand, a cardinal principle of microeconomics, posits an inverse relationship between the price of a good or service and the quantity demanded, under the ceteris paribus assumption. This relationship is predicated on diminishing marginal utility. Successive consumption yields progressively attenuated marginal utility. Substitution effect. Elevated prices induce substitution towards relatively less expensive alternatives. Income effect. Price increases diminish real income, resulting in reduced consumption. Mathematically, this relationship is expressed as $Q_D_P less than $0. Graphically, this is represented by a negatively sloped demand curve in a price-quantity coordinate system. Historical and scholarly contributions to demand theory. The development of demand theory is attributable to the contributions of Alfred Marshall, formalized the demand curve and elucidated price elasticity in Principles of Economics 1890. Leon Walras, integrated demand into general equilibrium frameworks. Adam Smith, laid conceptual foundations in an inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations. 1776. Antoine-Augustin Cournot, pioneered the mathematical formulation of demand functions. Detailed analysis of demand determinants. A multivariate approach. 1. Price of the good, P, the primary determinant, governed by the law of demand. Higher prices result in reduced quantity demanded, and conversely. Example. A statistically significant increase in the price of luxury automobiles corresponds to a measurable decrease in unit sales. 2. Income of consumers, Y, influences demand based on the classification of goods. Normal goods. Demand exhibits positive income elasticity. Inferior goods. Demand exhibits negative income elasticity. Example. Increased disposable income correlates with increased demand for premium organic produce, normal, and decreased demand for generic food products, inferior. 3. Prices of related goods, P_R, affects demand through substitution and complementarity effects. Substitutes. Increased price of one induces increased demand for the other. Complements. Increased price of one induces decreased demand for the other. Example, a rise in coffee prices leads to an increase in tea consumption, substitutes, and a rise in automobile prices results in a reduction in gasoline consumption, complements. 4. Tastes and preferences, T, subjective factors shaping consumer choices, subject to dynamic change. Example, A shift in societal preferences towards sustainable consumption patterns leads to increased demand for eco-friendly products. 5. Expectations. E. Anticipations regarding future price levels and market conditions. Example: anticipated increases in energy prices result in immediate increases in consumer stockpiling. 6. Market size. N. Directly proportional to aggregate demand. Example: demographic shifts resulting in population growth correlate with increased demand for residential housing. 7. Advertising and branding. A. Influences consumer awareness and brand loyalty, impacting demand elasticity. Example: a strategically executed advertising campaign results in a statistically significant increase in demand for a new product. 8. Seasonal factors. S. Temporal fluctuations in demand attributable to seasonal variations. Example: increased demand for winter apparel during periods of seasonal temperature decline. 9. Government policies. G. Taxes, subsidies, and regulatory interventions impacting market equilibrium. Example: government subsidies for renewable energy technologies result in increased demand for those products. 10. Information availability. I. Mitigation of information asymmetry, influencing consumer decision-making. Example: increased dissemination of nutritional information results in shifts in consumer dietary choices. Synthesis. Demand is a complex, multivariate construct reflecting consumer willingness and ability to purchase, subject to a confluence of endogenous and exogenous factors. The law of demand, formalized by economists such as Marshall, articulates the inverse price-quantity relationship. A comprehensive understanding of these determinants is essential for rigorous market analysis, informed policy formulation, and strategic business decision-making.